All right, get ready to dive into a world of magic and dragons and, well, basically a whole lot of chaos, because today we're talking about fairy tale.
It really is something special.
Yeah, fairy tale. I mean, it's a global phenomenon, but we're going deeper than just like, the surface level stuff with this deep dive.
Yeah.
We really want to understand like why fairy tale resonates with so many fans even all these years later, you know?
It's pretty amazing how this anime manages to, blend these like epic battles and crazy storylines with really relatable themes like family and like, finding where you belong in the world. I mean, it's
Yeah.
way more than just some flashy magic show.
So let's like set the stage a little bit first.
Okay.
Okay, so fairy tale takes place in this magical kingdom, Fior, and like magic is just everywhere. It's like as normal as using like a cell phone or something.
Exactly. It's like an everyday thing in Fior.
But it's not like simple magic tricks, It's not pulling rabbits out of hats or anything like that.
Yeah.
So tell me more about this world and like especially, how magic is woven into everyday life in Fior.
Well, in Fiore, wizards form these guilds, which are kind of like a mix between a family and like a superhero team.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah. And these guilds take on jobs. Some are kind of like, boring everyday stuff, but some are like seriously intense, like saving the world kind of missions.
Oh, wow.
It's really through this guild system that wizards find their purpose and like a sense of belonging,
That's like your community in a way.
Yeah, exactly. And when it comes to the Fairy Tale Guild, well, they're kind of notorious.
Oh, really? What do you mean?
They're known for being strong and loyal.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they also have this like knack for causing mayhem wherever they go.
Haha, so they're like the lovable troublemakers of the magical world.
Yeah. You could say that.
I'm already intrigued.
Yeah.
And, this document we're looking at, it introduces us to the core members of Fairy Tale. We got Nazi Dragnail, the fiery dragon slayer with a heart of gold, but also a missing dragon father, which, has to leave some emotional baggage.
Absolutely. Natsu's search for his dragon father, Igneal. It's not just some side story. It's like a driving force behind his character development. You see, it's not just about him learning fire magic. It's about him trying to understand where he came from and what family truly means.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And that search for belonging.
Yeah.
It really resonates with a lot of viewers.
Yeah, I can see why. Then there's Lucy Heartfilia, our celestial wizard. She can summon these spirits to help her in battle. But she's also the one chronicling all of Fairy Tale's adventures, so it's like we're right there with them.
Yeah, it's like she's inviting us to join the adventure.
Exactly. I'm curious about this whole celestial spirit magic system. Is it about just raw power, or is there like a strategy involved in summoning the right spirit at the right time?
Celestial spirit magic is all about strategy and synergy. Lucy has to really understand each spirit's strengths and weaknesses, and how they best complement like her own abilities and her teammates' abilities. It's not just brute force. You need to be smart about it.
Oh, wow. So it's like a team effort even with the spirits.
Right. It's a great example of how Fairy Tale's magic system is more than just like, throwing around spells.
Okay, so far we have fire magic and celestial magic. What other kinds of magic are we dealing with here? The document mentions this guy, Grey Fullbuster. He's the ice make wizard, but from what I heard, he's got like a tragic past and, a tendency to accidentally lose his clothes.
Oh, yes. Gray and his unique fashion choices. It's kind of a running gag.
Yeah, sounds like it.
But underneath that, icy exterior and those wardrobe malfunctions, Gray's story is really about carrying the weight of your past, but still finding a place where you're accepted for who you are.
Yeah, that's deep.
His development from like this brooding loner to this reliable member of Fairy Tale is pretty satisfying to watch.
That's awesome. And then there's Aza Scarlet, the queen of the fairies. She can switch between weapons and armor in the middle of battle, which has to make her like one of the most versatile fighters in all of Fiore. But the document also hints at a pretty tough past for her. How does that like shape her character?
Urza's story is a powerful example of how even the strongest wizards can be vulnerable. Her past as a child slave, it really haunts her. But finding a chosen family in Fairy Tale helps her heal and grow into a leader. It shows how important it is to find your people.
Yeah, the ones who just accept you unconditionally.
Exactly.
All right, so we have fire, celestial magic, ice, and weapon summoning. What other wild magic types are in this guild? Don't tell me we've covered it all already.
Oh, not even close. There's so much more to discover.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Fairy Tale's full of surprises.
Okay, so let's dig a little deeper and see what other magical wonders await us.
Sounds good to me.
And of course, we can't forget Happy. You know that blue flying talking cat. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
you can't have like a magical adventure without a little bit of comic relief, right?
For sure.
Yeah.
But there's more to Happy than just being the cute mascot.
Oh, really? What do you mean here?
Happy's like Natsu's best friend.
Mm.
He's super loyal and surprisingly insightful, too.
Huh.
Their friendship really brings a lot of heart to the series. It reminds us that family isn't always about, like, blood ties.
Yeah, I get that. So we've met the main crew. And honestly, the magic system in Fairy Tail is pretty wild.
It's pretty complex.
Yeah, it's not just like chucking fireballs, there's like real depth and strategy to it. You mentioned earlier how Lucy's celestial magic relies on synergy. What other like nuances are there to how magic works in this world?
One of the most interesting things is how it's connected to the wizard's emotions.
Oh, really? So like their feelings actually affect their magic.
Yeah. A wizard's determination, their bonds with their friends, even their fears can influence how strong their magic is.
So it's not just about raw power then. It's about mastering yourself as much as mastering your magic abilities.
Exactly. Take Natsu, for example. He's a dragon slayer, right? Which means he can, like, eat fire and use it.
Yeah.
But his true strength comes from his determination and his loyalty to his friends. When those emotions are strong, his magic goes to a whole new level.
Wow, that's pretty cool. Now that makes me think of Urza and her requip magic. I mean, being able to change weapons and armor like that in the middle of a fight is super impressive, but I bet it takes a ton of mental focus and discipline. How does her past trauma factor into her mastery of that unique magic?
Urza's requip magic is almost like a way for her to deal with her past. She puts up different versions of herself. She can be the tough warrior, the compassionate leader, or the vulnerable friend. It all depends on the situation.
It's like she's wearing different masks.
In a way, yeah. Her magic is as complex as her personality.
Huh.
And watching her grow throughout the series is all about her learning to accept those different sides of herself.
That's a really interesting way to look at it. So it's not just about summoning the right weapon, it's about summoning the right part of yourself to face the challenge.
Exactly.
This document mentions some pretty intense story arcs. One that jumps out is the Tower of Heaven arc. What can you tell us about it without spoiling too much?
The Tower of Heaven arc is like a turning point for Urza. It forces her to confront her past trauma and the darkness she still carries with her. That's a pretty heavy arc emotionally. But in the end, it leads to healing and redemption.
Wow, sounds intense. The document also talks about the Tenru Island arc, which apparently leads to a big-time skip. How does that change things for the Fairy Tail Guild?
Oh, Tenru Island arc is a game changer. It throws the guild into chaos and pits them against an enemy so powerful that they have to push themselves to their absolute limits. And the time skip, it's genius. It lets the characters grow and change off screen. So when they come back together, there's this sense of mystery and anticipation about how they've evolved.
Man, that's really clever. Okay,
Yeah.
Getting back to the guild itself, I'm curious about how central it is to the world of Fairy Tail. Is it just about taking on missions, or is there more to it?
Guilds are basically the backbone of Fiore's magical society. They provide structure, purpose, and, most importantly, a sense of belonging. Fairy Tail in particular emphasizes the importance of family. These wizards aren't just coworkers. They're deeply connected and would do anything for each other.
It really is like that theme of found family runs through the whole Fairy Tail experience. It's about finding your people, the ones who accept you for who you are.
Exactly. And it's not just the main characters either. Fairy Tail introduces a whole bunch of wizards, each with their own unique story and motivations. You have guilds that specialize in different kinds of magic guilds that are super secretive, and even some that operate outside the law.
Wow, this world is amazing. The document also mentions spin-offs that explore individual characters. Are there any that you find particularly interesting or that offer a new perspective on the Fairy Tail world?
One that comes to mind is Fairy Tail Zero. It tells the story of how the Fairy Tail Guild was founded. It focuses on the original members and the events that shape their beliefs and their bond.
Oh, wow. So you get to see like the early days of Fairy Tail.
Exactly. It gives you a lot more context for understanding the Guild's legacy and what they stand for.
That sounds like a must-read for any Fairy Tail fan. We've covered so much here, from the intricate magic system and the role of guilds to the emotional depth of the characters and those crazy story arcs. I'm really starting to get why this anime has such a devoted following.
It's a world that pulls you in with the magic and adventure. But what really keeps you hooked is the heart and humor. There's a real warmth to Fairy Tail that's hard to resist.
Speaking of warmth, I've heard great things about the animation style. The document describes it as like vibrant and full of energy, which makes sense for a story about wizards and dragons. What are your thoughts on the visuals in Fairy Tail?
The animation is fantastic. A1 Pictures, the studio that made Fairy Tail, did an incredible job bringing Hiro Mashima's art style to life. The character designs are so expressive, the colors are bright and vibrant, and the fight scenes are so dynamic and fluid. It's a visual treat for sure.
I can only imagine, and I can't imagine those epic battles without an equally epic soundtrack. The document mentions a composer named Yasuharu Takanashi. What can you tell us about his work on Fairy Tail?
Oh, Yasuharu Takanashi's music is like a crucial part of the whole fairy tale experience. He blends Celtic influences with orchestral music and even some rock elements. It creates a soundtrack that's both grand and emotionally powerful. Whether it's a heart-pounding battle or a quiet moment between friends, the music always fits perfectly and adds so much to the scene.
It sounds like he created a whole musical world that's as captivating as the visual one. It's clear that a lot of passion and attention to detail went into every aspect of Fairy Tail, from the characters and the story to the animation and the music.
And that passion is reflected in the show's lasting popularity. Fairy Tail has touched millions of fans all over the world. It's inspired fan art, cosplay, and tons of discussions about the themes and the characters.
It's amazing to see how a story about wizards and dragons can have such a profound impact and create such a passionate community. This deep dive has really opened my eyes to how deep and complex Fairy Tail is. I'm seeing it less as just an action-packed anime and more as a story about the power of human connection and finding your place in the world.
That's the beauty of Fairy Tail. It manages to entertain, excite, and inspire all at the same time. It reminds us that even in a fantastical world full of magic and dragons, it's the bonds we form with others that make us truly strong.
So even if you're not a diehard anime fan, there's something universal about the themes of friendship, courage, and finding your family in Fairy Tail.
Definitely. It's a story that goes beyond age, culture, and even genre. It's a celebration of what it means to be human and the power of hope.
This has been an amazing journey so far. But before we wrap things up, I want to ask you the question we asked our listeners at the beginning. If you could have any magical power from the Fairy Tail universe, what would it be and why?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
Yeah, right. I mean, there are so many cool powers to choose from.
Yeah, so many possibilities.
I think I'd be drawn to Wendy's Dragon Slayer magic,
Oh, yeah.
especially like her healing abilities,
I see.
to be able to like mend wounds and take away someone's pain. That would be an amazing gift.
It really would. Wendy's magic isn't just about physical healing either.
Yeah, what do you mean?
She can heal broken spirits, too. She's got this amazing compassion and empathy.
Yeah, you're right. She's like the heart of the guild in a lot of ways.
Absolutely.
Okay, so you got me thinking. Now I'm leaning towards Lucy's celestial spirit magic. Imagine summoning those powerful spirits to help you with anything.
That'd be awesome. Plus, each spirit has its own personality.
Right.
It'd be like having a team of magical buddies always ready to help you out.
Haha, exactly. It would never be boring. But besides the fun factor, I think celestial spirit magic really shows the power of teamwork. Like the idea that we can do incredible things when we work together.
You know what? That's a great point. It fits perfectly with Fairy Tail's whole message of friendship and unity. Each spirit has a contract with Lucy Wright.
Yeah.
It's a bond of trust and understanding. It reminds us that true strength comes from respecting and appreciating everyone's unique abilities.
So we've got a healer and a summoner. I think would make a pretty good team in the world of Fairy Tail.
Yeah, I think so too.
But in all seriousness, this deep dive has been so much fun. We've explored Fiore's magic system, gotten into some intense storylines, and really gotten to know the heart of the Fairy Tail Guild.
It's been a blast. We've seen how Fairy Tail mixes lighthearted moments with some really deep themes. It's a reminder that even in a world full of magic, it's the human connections, the friendships, and the families we choose that really matter.
So if someone was thinking about watching Fairy Tail, what would you tell them to really convince them to give it a shot?
I'd tell them to get ready to laugh, cry, and cheer along with these characters that feel like real friends. Fairy Tail isn't just an escape, It's a reminder that we all have the power to find our place, overcome challenges, and make a difference in the world, even if it's just in our own little corner of it.
That's a great way to put it. Fairy Tail celebrates the underdog, the strength of friendship, and the belief that anyone can achieve amazing things if they have the courage to follow their dreams.
It's a story that stays with you even after you finish watching it. The characters, the world, the themes, they all leave a mark.
So if you're looking for an anime that's action-packed, heartwarming, and full of magic and wonder, definitely check out Fairy Tail.
Yeah, it's an experience that will spark your imagination and remind you how important it is to connect with others.
And hey, who knows? Maybe you'll even discover a little bit of magic in yourself. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into Fairy Tail.